Hey guys, my name's Andy. In this video, I want to talk to you about some of the challenges of having a low GPA and some tips on how you can overcome them. Before I start, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm currently a senior at Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. I have a 2.7 GPA studying computer science and business, and I'm going full-time to Google next semester as a software engineer. The main challenge with a low GPA is that it's really hard to get your foot in the door. Even though you might have the skills that's necessary, sometimes you don't even get the chance to show them because recruiters just see your GPA and throw your resume in the trash. This is especially true if you're not from a top school like CMU or MIT, where if you go to those schools, even if you have a really low GPA, chances are you'll probably get a chance to interview at least. And then there's another disparity that compounds on top of the difference between a low mid-tier to a high-tier school, is that since they're getting these interviews, even with the low GPA, even if they're not prepared, they get more practice than you. They know what to learn, what to study, what to look for, and eventually they become better at it through practice. This is practice that some people from lower tier schools with low GPAs just don't get. Now, before I talk about how you can overcome that, I want to talk about something else. I believe that right now, actually mostly everyone believes, is that there's a big difference between CS education and the interview process. There's a big disconnect between what we're being taught and what we're being interviewed on. And that's something that you can take advantage of. Because even though you might not do the best in class, or you might not do all your homework, or you messed up freshman year, or anything like that, if you grind the LEET code, if you do your work, if you really honestly focus on getting good at these coding interviews, then you can compete with the best students at MIT, with the best students at CMU, because it sort of levels the playing field for everyone. Sure, there's a lot of people that argue whether it's a good idea to have our CS interview process be so far detached from both our CS education and the everyday work that computer programmers do. But that's the way it is now, and I think that it's a good time to take advantage of it. So here's some tips that I have regarding some of the challenges that I mentioned. First of all, do anything to get a big name on your resume somewhere. Whether it's like Amazon, Microsoft, whatever, just have some kind of name there on your resume. It doesn't have to be, say, an internship. It could be something almost completely random. But the point of this is that it gets it past the keyword generators, checkers that whatever recruiters are using. So for me, during my freshman year, I applied to become a Microsoft student partner at my school. And although this isn't really technically challenging, all I did was that I hosted a workshop once a month and gave away swag and sort of promoted Microsoft on my campus. But having that on my resume really helped me get interviews with some of these bigger companies. And that's how it eventually led to my internship with Amazon my junior summer, which eventually led to getting interviews at most of the big tech companies I applied to. So there's sort of like a cascading effect of having something on your resume. And something else that I really want to stress is grinding LEET code. I've helped a lot of my friends with grinding LEET code, and I noticed that a lot of times people don't study in the right way. A lot of times they stare at the problem for a couple of minutes, and then afterwards, if they can't figure it out, they just sort of look at the answer, they go, oh yeah, so that's how you do it, and then they move on. But no, that's completely incorrect, because this way, sure, you might learn the answer to that specific question, but by not implementing it, you're kind of just learning how to do that specific question, instead of learning how to solve that entire class of problem. So what I recommend would be something like, after you start a problem, if you can't get it, then look at the solution and then continue to implement that solution and make sure that you really understand what's going on and why you're doing what you're doing. And I know that might sound simple or basic, but it's something that I see come up a lot. Instead of learning how to solve that single problem, you should be learning how to solve an entire class of problems like DP or linked lists or binary search or depth first search, anything like that. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you found some of the tips I gave useful. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below and I'll try to answer it as quick as possible. Bye!